I beg to take the following motion standing in my name. Whereas it provided by Section 4454(1) of the Public Finance Management Act number 14 of 2020, that the Minister of Finance may, by an affirmative resolution of Parliament, write off losses of public monies, public assets, or other movable properties belonging to the government, or provided for the public service, or abandon or remit a claim by or on behalf of the government or public service, provided where the amount is $10,000 or more. And whereas the Fonseca Credit Cooperative Society is indebted to the government in the sum of $546,264 with respect to the MochaHousing Development Project. And whereas the Minister of Finance considers it necessary to write off the debt owed to the government by the Fonseca Credit Cooperative Society Limited with respect to MochaHousing Development Project. Be it resolved that Parliament authorizes the Minister of Finance to write off the debt in the sum of $546,264 owed to the government by the Fonseca Credit Cooperative Society Limited with respect to the MochaHousing Development Project. Mr. Speaker, this resolution, Mr. Speaker, is testimony of the government's belief in three things. One, strengthening the cooperative and the credit union sector. Two, relieving or alleviating hardship to people who cannot afford. And three, allowing people the luxury of owning their own house and land. And this is what the government of the St. Lucia Labour Party is about. We believe, Mr. Speaker, that people must be given an opportunity, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, here is the story. Mr. Speaker, during the passage of Hurricane Thomas in October 2010, the community of Fonseca suffered significant damage. Many residents lost their homes and livelihoods. In an effort to assist dislocated residents, the government of St. Lucia acquired 7.2 acres of land located at Mocha Fonseca, with 2.5 acres allocated for the construction of houses of affected households. The government of St. Lucia constructed 11 timber masonry houses in the first phase, and in the second phase, funded by a grant given to the government of St. Lucia by Pinnacle Trust. 17 standard masonry houses were constructed. 17 standard masonry, 2 to 3 bedroom houses were built. There was a third phase in which 10 concrete houses were built. To assist the affected persons, the government of St. Lucia and the Fonseca Credit Cooperative Society signed a memorandum of understanding geared at providing a financial facility to access loans to purchase the replacement houses from the government of St. Lucia. There were 2 land and house packages, namely Type A and Type B, defined in the attached Type A and Type B as is shown in the MOU between the credit union, the cooperative society, and the government of St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Fonseca Credit Cooperative Society Limited provided loans to the occupants to purchase the houses using an interest-free loan of $477,500. So the government of St. Lucia gave the Fonseca Cooperative $477,500 to on-lend to the purchasers of these houses, Mr. Speaker. The loan to the MochaHousing occupants were provided with the following conditions. 11 loans for a duration of 10 years to recipients of Type A government residential houses at an average transfer price of $6,000 to $9,000 with an interest rate of 7.25% on the reducing balance and loan payments ranging from $91 to $120 per month. 20-year loans to 15 recipients of Type B trust mission houses at average transfer prices of $43,000 and $65,000 at 5% on the reducing balance with loan repayments ranging from $297 to $448 per month for 2 or 3 bedroom units respectively. The Government of St. Lucia and the Credit Union agreed that the Credit Union will repay 25% of the total interest-free loan every 2 years until the outstanding sum is paid. In other words, the loan from the Government of St. Lucia was to be repaid in 8 years. All but one of the affected households utilized the loan facility, the latter paying in cash. In general, there has been significant problems in recovering the loan repayments from the respective households. The status report reveals that only 11 loans out of the 26 have been fully paid off, with these primarily being the first phase with packages ranging from $5,000 to $7,000. Most of the loans in the second phase are largely delinquent. The total outstanding principal plus interest was $621,850 as of October 9, 2021, with most of these loans more than 365 days in arrears. Mr. Speaker, because of that delinquency, Mr. Speaker, this has negatively affected the reputation of the credit union because they're carrying that debt and they're not getting repaid by the house owners, Mr. Speaker. The credit union wrote to the Government of St. Lucia to help assist with its survival and developmental status. See, Mr. Speaker, we believe that a credit union is important, and carrying that debt, Mr. Speaker, would affect the sustainability of the credit union, Mr. Speaker. The credit union wrote, Mr. Speaker, for an immediate write-off of the debt of $546,000 owed to the Government of St. Lucia, comprising the interest-free loan and outstanding interest of $68,763 owed on the sale of houses in the first phase at the soonest. And also to complete the preparation of deeds for the respective properties to give titles to the persons who have paid their loans in full. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the Public Finance Management Act states that, so we're not breaking the law, that subject to this section, the minister may, under an affirmative resolution of Parliament, write off losses of public monies, stores, or other movable property belonging to the government or provided for by the public service, or to abandon or remit any claim by or on behalf of the government or any public service provided where the amount in a case of $10,000 or more, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we believe, Mr. Speaker, that the government should write off the debt, Mr. Speaker, owed by the credit union, Mr. Speaker, because that would give the credit union, that would improve the balance sheet of the credit union and allow it to get involved in more sustainable forms of development, Mr. Speaker, and to keep it alive, Mr. Speaker. And also, we believe also that the people who have paid for their houses, that they be given deeds a proper deed of sale, Mr. Speaker, so that they can have ownership to that property, Mr. Speaker. And we have to, and a determination of a mechanism by the relevant government agency to assign properties to occupants who have not repaid their loans, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, the most cynical among us might say that we are rewarding people who did not pay their loans, Mr. Speaker. But there is a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture, Mr. Speaker. The bigger picture is whether you allow an institution to collapse because some people did not pay $5,000 to $9,000 loans, or whether you start afresh and allow the credit union to survive and get involved in more sustainable development. I mean, Mr. Speaker, that is a philosophical difference between the Labour Party and the other party. The philosophical difference. We believe in giving people a second chance. We believe that the people who are less privileged must be given a chance to have to start their lives over. And we believe that institutions like credit unions and cooperatives must be allowed to survive. And that is why we put the cooperatives in the Ministry of Commerce, so we can give new life to that industry, Mr. Speaker. Because people believe that cooperatives are only for people of a certain income bracket. But a lot of Germany has developed on cooperatives. A lot of Germany, major cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, all over. Right now, in Europe, the cooperative sector is a vibrant sector, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a deliberate, philosophical position that we've taken. Deliberate. After debate, after consultation, discussion, that we should give these people a second chance. It's deliberate, Mr. Speaker. That doesn't mean that we want to encourage people to be delinquent in their loans. Doesn't mean that at all. Because we're going to come to Parliament very soon with a new bankruptcy act, new bankruptcy law. We're going to be coming to Parliament very soon for credit reporting bill, which is started in the last Parliament. We do not believe that people should be delinquent in their loans. We are not encouraging people not to pay their loans. What we are saying is in certain special circumstances, you must give people a second chance, Mr. Speaker. Because in risks are taken, we took some big risks. The government took some big risks, Mr. Speaker. But in the purchase of vaccines, they took a major risk. The reason that they gave for taking it might be legitimate. They might say that they were in a rush to get vaccines, but that was a major risk that they took. And I've always said that the blame for that is not the person who sold the vaccine, it's the person who bought it. That's the risk, Mr. Speaker. So we take risks. We make errors. We make mistakes. Some people don't pay their loans. Many of the richest people in this country or in the world, they started by not paying their loans. They survive. You understand, Mr. Speaker? So we have to give people a second chance. And this is giving the residents of Mocha and their children a second chance, Mr. Speaker. And this is not an encouragement to be delinquent, but it's a philosophical position to help the credit union so it can improve its balance sheet and go into more productive lending and give the people who have paid their loans a deed of sale for their properties, and those who haven't, a mechanism will be worked out to see how we can sort it out, Mr. Speaker. We make no apologies for it, and I want to say again, that is not an encouragement for people to be delinquent. It's a reprieve. It's a reprieve to strengthen the credit union, Mr. Speaker, and to give people a new lease of life. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that the people of Mocha have been given a new lease of life, and the credit union in particular, a new lease of life, and we hope that can augur well for the future of that constituency. I thank members for the support.